This is Shadows in the Peaks, a Legends of the Five Rings actual play from Stories with Dice. If you're enjoying our actual plays, please subscribe to Stories with Dice so you'll never miss an episode. Don't forget to rate and review us. It really helps others discover the podcast. Follow us on social media to stay updated. You'll find the relevant links in the description of each episode.
Hey everyone, you all good? We'll start with Scott. Hi Scott.
Hello Ed, how are you doing?
Good. Tony, how are you?
Hello, all good. Thanks for asking.
Excellent. Charlotte, you haven't joined us before, so it's nice to see you again. It's been ages since we've actually played any games together.
It has. I am a Stories with Dice studio noob.
Woo! But not a noob at this. You're very experienced.
I mean, to be fair, it's been almost about 2.5 years since I played a tabletop role-playing game, so
oh my
might be a little bit
God.
rusty. Might be a little bit rusty.
That's right. It's a rusty game, so it's good. And always, as always, we have trusty Marco.
Hello.
I'm not sure if I'm your wingman or you're my wingman.
I'm not sure either. I just need to move this toy mouse before my cat pulls the internet out of the wall. Hold on a minute.
Sure. Well, while Marco does that, this is a new actual play for us. It is Legend of the Five Rings, and it's 4th edition, so I thought it would be quite good to do that. Tony and I had been talking about it for a while, and I thought, hey, why not? We'll do a 4th edition game. Charlotte has tried to push me for 5th edition, but she's shaking her head at me going, tut, tut, tut. So I'm a big fan of 4th. I have a lot of books, and I thought I might use them for a change. So, yeah, we thought we'll do a sort of like a small, wouldn't even be a mini campaign, just a small story around Five Rings. Not sure how long it will take, but we thought it'd be quite good to just do that. It kind of scratches that itch, I guess, for Tony and myself. Marco hasn't ever played it, or doesn't really know it. Scott has done, and knows it somewhat, but it's been a while, I think, since we've
It's been about 10 years, I think, since I last played.
And Charlotte's a fan, so, but I'm not sure if you've played the 4th edition.
No, I haven't played any edition. I just have 5th edition. I've read through the book, never had a chance to play. And there was a little bit of a bait and switch that went on with this.
Cool.
I was proud of Legend of the Five Rings, but apparently it's Legend of the Four Rings.
How rude. So I've been a massive fan of this since the early 90s. Love the setting. For anyone who doesn't know it, it is a fantasy, Far Eastern role-playing game. It takes bits of like mythology from Japanese, Chinese, South Korean, a little bit from other parts of sort of the Far East, and kind of like combines it all with a sort of fantasy setting. So it's a slightly different headspace to be in because it's not a very Western way of doing things. So hopefully we'll kind of like go through that and maybe explore some of that sort of stuff as we go.
For the slightly older gamers amongst us, Rokugan was also the setting for Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 edition's Oriental Adventure sourcebook.
Correct.
So you might see some interesting crossovers there as well.
Thanks. That's Scott laying the knowledge there. So I thought without too much of ado, we're going to kind of go through, we just kind of explain who we are, where we are, what we're doing. This story is called Shadows in the Peaks, and I have an introduction which we'll kind of go through, and then we'll kind of do a small vignette of each of your characters, just giving a description, maybe interacting with a NPC or two before we sort of start the story. So everyone quiet, everyone tucked in, ready for an introduction. Well, here you go. So, Shadow in the Peaks. A mountain wind carries whispers of unease across the rugged ridges of Yakishi province. Samurais vanish, their blades left behind like discarded memories. Shrines flicker with dying light, their sacred fires inexplicably snuffed out. And in the mid-choked valleys, shadows stretch in ways that should not be possible, moving against the laws of nature, lurking where no living presence should exist. But there are no warriors to spare for this mystery. The dragon clans at war. The dragon phoenix conflict rages, pulling Muramoto forces into battle, while Kitsuki magistrates navigate the treacherous currents of diplomacy. Togashi Satsu, the dragon champion, has seen the signs, the unnatural dark creeping through the lands, but his clan cannot turn their attention away from the war. There are no soldiers to send, No agents to investigate, and yet the mountains demand answers. It falls to visiting samurai from allied and neutral clans, warriors whose duties have brought them to Dragonlands at a time when fate demands action, whether emissaries answering in diplomatic summons, envoys passing through on unrelated duties, or wandering blades seeking enlightenment or coin. These visitors now find themselves at the center of a growing mystery. They are the only ones with the freedom to act, while the dragon remain consumed by war, whether bound by honor, curiosity, political necessity, or just money. They must unravel the truth behind the peaks before the shadows grow bold enough to strike at the heart of the dragon clan itself. But the mountains do not easily give up its secrets. The shadows are waiting, and they will not remain patient for long. So, this whole campaign, or this small adventure, is set in the Dragonlands, far to the north of Rokugan. Rokugan itself is an old kingdom made up of great clans and minor clans, all with, I guess, a stake in the world. They all specialize in various different things. The Crane are great bladesmiths, duelists, artists. The Phoenix clan are knowledgeable. They study the ways of the Kami, which are the sort of like gods and the deities of Rokugan, and they entreat with them to be able to cast spells. The Mantis clan, who are travelers, traders, and explorers along the coasts of Rokugan, and the Unicorn, who are a mixed match of people from Rokugan and Gaijin, or foreigners from outside its lands. They for a while were discarded into the Burning Sands, which is a land to the northwest of Rokugan. And after many years of traveling, they came back with a mix of other histories and cultures and brought that to Rokugan. Currently, you are all on various duties. You have spent the winter of 1157 in the Winter Court for whatever reason. Either you are here on diplomatic reasons, you're here because you're seeking enlightenment, or you're here because you're doing some other chore or business. You have spent almost all of that time in a place called the Dragonlands, or at least a part of the Dragonlands, Yukishi province. You have spent your winter court in a place called Shiro Kitsuki. Shiro Kitsuki is a place where people who come to entreat the dragon come and stay, especially as it's the foot of the dragon clan. It is the first and greatest castle of the Kitsuki, which is one of the families. The castle is lavishly decorated by dragon standards, which makes it more stark than most other clan strongholds, and is famed for the Sharp Eye Dojo, which trains Kitsuki investigators. Kitsuki investigators are a very rare breed within the Dragonlands, in fact, in Rokugan. They believe in looking at physical evidence to determine someone's guilt, which is not a normal practice in Rokugan. Normally, in Rokugan, if someone is of a higher status and you accuse them, if you have evidence, it means nothing. They are of a higher status, they are of higher glory and honor, or their word is law. So you would never ever go up to someone who is a high status person and say, "Ha-ha, we found evidence." They go, "Well, I didn't do it. That's good enough for the law." It is also home to a less renowned library. This contains many legal texts outside of the imperial city, and a lot of samurai, shigenja, who are the priests of the samurai caste, come here to look at those texts, especially if there's something to do with medical science, herbalism, human nature, all those sort of like things. They kind of come here and they look at those. That could be a reason why someone's here. You've pretty much spent, I don't think any of you are courtiers or anything like that, as far as I'm aware. So you probably didn't spend a huge amount of time within the Winter Court, where the various different clans entreat each other. They try and look at building treaties and trade amongst themselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the first of you to find out what it is that you're actually doing within Shiro Kitsuki. And I'm going to put Tony on the spot because he's done this before, so he should know. Tony, could you give us a description about your character, who you are, and what you're doing in Shiro Kitsuki?
Right. So we'll be playing Kakita Hironobu, which is a very young trained duelist. He's tall and very slim. He has gray eyes and long black hair, like bound neatly in a top knot, like kind of samurai style. And like many cranes, he moves with precise and measured grace. Like he's measuring everything he does, and everything he does is very delicate, and he's he does it with a purpose, and you feel it. He's dressed in blue, honoring the colors of his family and the crane. And what he has been doing here is testing himself. So he's has many cranes, but he's even more than many cranes. He's totally obsessed with duels, and he basically came here to the Dragonlands to test himself against other bushes, and to see if the dragon bushes were as good as they say, with their own style. So he's basically here just testing his might.
Tony? Yes, in the sort of like history and the background to Rokugan and the Five Rings, the two greatest duelists are the Kikita crane family and the Muramoto dragon family. The Muramoto are very keen to say that they have the best style of dueling with two weapons. So they use their katana and the wakizashi, which is the short sword and the long sword, to fight. The Kikita and the crane disagree and say this is not the right way to fight a duel. It should be with the katana only, and only using a specific way of fighting. Very traditional from the very beginning founding of the empire. And so there has been for a very long time this sometimes friendly, sometimes not so friendly battle between the two, and that makes sense why you've come here to test your skill. In fact, you have come here with a very famous crane. His name is Kikita Kaiten. He is one of the best sword fighters within the Crane clan. He has been around for a very long time. He is the Kikita Crane Regent. So he is looking after parts of the Crane clan on behalf of the rest of the clan. And he has been spending a lot of his time trying to mend bridges between the Kikita school and the Muramoto school. And that is what he's been doing here. And you have probably come with him as part of a larger retinue. So there is quite a lot of crane around him. There's lots of sort of courtiers that kind of come along with that. So you've probably been spending some time with them. And in fact, it's always helpful to learn to train with your own clan. Scott, let's go to you, kind sir.
Oh, go on then. Why not? I'll be playing Utaku Hiroshi, who is a man in his late 20s, early 30s, to look at him. Short, quite stocky, wears fairly long moustache, deep, sad brown eyes, and he is in town as part of the retinue of Utaku Nobu, who is a diplomat. He took the assignment to escape his betrothal, or rather to put as much distance between himself and his wife-to-be as possible, because she does not want to marry him, being an Utaku battle maiden. The shame of marrying him would be immense for her. So he has agreed to take this role as part of the retinue and see what happens to him whilst he's out there. See how he can best preserve both of their honours whilst finding a way out of the betrothal.
Thank you very much. So a very key thing of the Unicorn clan is when they came back from the Burning Sands, they brought with them horses that were larger than the Rokugani ponies, and they changed the way that battle was fought within Rokugan. Having large steppe horses to fight with, they very much spent a lot of their time around horses, and also the family that you come from, the Utaku, are very much female-led. The battle maidens are very well renowned, and usually the ones that rule the roost within the Utaku family. And actually, a lot of the men are there to sort of like service the horses and to serve as partners to the Utaku battle maidens. So having an Utaku male infantryman or this cavalryman is something quite rare. You are also here with a gentleman by the name of Shinjo Dyson. Shinjo Dyson is a courtier, someone who's entreating the Dragon Clan because of the war that's happening between the Dragon and the Phoenix currently. The Dragon have asked for the unicorn to side with themselves so that they can use the mounted infantry to their best advantage. And currently Shinjo Dyson, who is this very gaijin-looking individual who wears his hair long, he's got sort of like a cragged face, definitely does not look like he's Rokugani, is a very well-known courtier who spends a lot of his time going around the various winter courts to entreat on behalf of the Unicorn clan. Charlotte, let's come to you next.
She is a young Shugenja whose spirit burns with both brilliance and innocence, which is part of the reason why I've come here, to try and work that innocence out, to get a little bit more information about the world. Has long auburn hair tied back with red ribbon. It's as much of a banner of fiery nature as the orange and gold robes that she wears, patterned with flames and a motif of a phoenix rising, which she is of the Phoenix clan. She's outspoken, insightful, and compassionate, yet her blunt honesty often unsettles those around her. Like I said, one of the reasons why I came here was to get to know the land a little bit better, and being of a family that was formerly of the Dragon Clan, I figured that this was a decent way to start. So learning about the history of the family, why the fracture happened from the other side of the story, and to grow while she's there.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the Agasha family, they used to be part of the Dragon Clan many years ago. They pretty much abandoned their duties to the dragon after a fracture that had happened. They were quite experimental and curious as to what they could do with magic, and the dragon weren't particularly happy about that. They're a very traditional kind of clan, so without going into too much detail, the Agasha family then were brought into the folds of the Phoenix clan, where they've been happily being a member of their family ever since. You're in Shiro Kitsuki with a Master of Fire. The current Master of Fire, so the Phoenix clan, unlike a lot of the other clans who are ruled by a daimyo, who is the head lord, who then has a lot of other samurai below them. It's a very feudal system in Rokugan. They have a council of elemental masters, one for each of the elements: earth, fire, water, air, and void. So those 5 elemental masters, along with some of the family daimyos, decide what happens within the Phoenix clan. So it's a very different way of working, and so they are slightly different to the other clans. So you are with Isawa Hoshi, who is a very well-renowned and respected Master of Fire, and he has been a Master of Fire for a good 30 years, ever since the Scorpion clan led a coup against the Emperor about 30 odd years ago, which led to an all-out war within Rokugan. All of the clans fought against each other, and eventually a lion clan daimyo came to power, and he became the first non-imperial family to take the reins of the empire. And his name was Totori, who has recently gone missing and feared dead. So currently, Rokugan is a little bit of a unstable place, and so it's been ongoing to see, and just so our listeners know quite how the kind of like status works within the empire. Excellent, thank you. And then next and last but not least, Marco, we have you, sir.
So apologies to all the 5 Ring fans out there. You know, I'm a newbie to the game, so I kind of don't know what I'm doing. So I am playing Kitsune Akira. He is a member of the Mantis clan by way of the Fox clan. He has one discolored eye, so people avoid looking at him. They believe that my presence invites evil spirits, and it does. So one of his eyes is hazel, and the other one is like this icy, cold blue eye. It really wigs people out. And he's also overconfident to a fault, so that'll be fun. Why is Kitsune here? I think we talked about this, Ed, but I don't think I remember.
We did.
Help me out.
Sure, I can help you out. So, although you're a member of the Fox, or of the former Fox clan, now the Kitsune family, you follow the school of the Tsuruchi Archer bounty hunter?
Yes, correct.
So you actually follow bounties across Rokugan, which is a very difficult thing for a lot of Rokugani to understand, because working in trade, that kind of thing, is something that's a little bit alien to the traditional clans, because they have people to do that for them. You know, they have servants, they've got that sort of thing. It's almost a little dirty to sort of like talk about, well, actually, I'll do this for some money. Thank you very much. But it's something that Tsurushi do, because the Mantis clan themselves are a very non-traditional clan. They're made up of minor clans, and so it's a very odd sort of...
For now, they are.
Clan. For now, they are. And so, although you're a Kitsune family, you've not followed the usual route of a Kitsune, which would normally be some kind of Shugenja or priest, and the ways of sort of the forest and the spirits that live within there. You've kind of decided to go a different route and actually go down this bounty hunter sort of route, which is where it's taking you to the Dragonlands.
Right, and that's because my family's been impoverished because one of our ancestors got shafted by someone in the Mantis clan.
So you are almost close to being sort of like someone who's for money, but not necessarily, because you do have the backing of the Mantis clan. Now, you're not here to meet anybody else. You have literally come to the Dragonlands to fulfill a bounty, and you have unfortunately got stuck after finishing the bounty in Shiro Kitsuki over winter. All the passes have kind of shut. There's snow everywhere. You don't normally travel within Rokugan any time within winter. Wars stop. Pretty much everything comes to a grinding halt. What normally happens is various dignitaries and different daimyo go visit other people's holdings, and they spend winter overnight there. And it's called the Winter Court. It's where all the sort of like trade and all the politicking happens for the rest of the year. So essentially everyone goes to a place or the multiple palaces. It's a big deal. There's lots of things that happen. There's lots of ceremonies. There's usually a lot of games.
It's sort of like the winter phase in Pendragon.
They're kind of a bit like that. Yeah, that's a good way of describing it. So everything kind of shuts down, and everyone does the stuff they need to do for the politics. And then come the spring, all the people kind of leave the winter courts with whatever has happened, and then they start off with either going to the various armies and saying, right, we've made these kind of deals, let's go and do that. But it's not quite the end of the winter period. So you are stuck in Shiro Kitsuki. For you have nothing to do. You've got no one to sort of like follow. There is no other Mantis clans here. You are essentially on your own. And so you were at this place. I don't think you barely sort of like follow the traditional etiquette of Rokugan. So you're pretty much sort of like left on your own to do your own thing. But you can't really go anywhere apart from spend your time within Shiro Kitsuki and the surrounding village. A lot of the dragon spent a lot of time meditating. There's a lot of rumors about how the dragon clan worked, and it turns out it's a lot of it seems to be true. They seem to do a lot of meditation. They do a lot of kata and training in the dojo. They play a lot of Go and various other tactical games. For you and the rest of you, for the rest of your winter courts, the Dragon Clan is quite Spartan when it comes to that sort of thing. And so by the time at this stage, it's quite dull for all of you. You've done all you needed to do. There's not much more to do. You only have so many philosophical conversations with people. It's time you want to leave, but you can't go anywhere, either because your lords have forbidden it, or you can't actually get anywhere because the snows are still out. So currently you cannot go south out of the Dragonlands and you're stuck here, which leads us to the present. Do you think any of you would have spent any time in each other's company?
I would say maybe.
If any of the others play Kamari, then almost certainly.
Well, Scott, you've got me at a disadvantage.
Kamari is basically a game which it's kind of like hacky sack. You've got to keep a small little ball up in the air for as long as possible, and the side that can make the other drop the ball wins. So it's like hacky sack meets volleyball.
Okay.
So is that well known, or is that like a regional pastime?
No, it's pretty well known throughout the Empire. It's the pastime of choice for people who want to be active rather than those who want to spend their time playing Go or...
So I guess it's not...
Yeah, so in that case, I might have been outside trying to, practice doing my katas and things like this. And, if you were playing this on your own, I might have joined just to learn how to be more agile and how to move with grace. And
yeah, you normally play in sort of teams of 4 or 5. So there would have been maybe a group of us playing and dragged you over to make up the numbers.
think I would have been
Why not?
interested if I came across that. It's like, hey, that's something different.
Sure, I'd like that. So we'll put you in a game. In fact, you're in one of the open courtyards in Shiro Kitsuki. It's one of the open courtyards that are access to non-dragons, and so you've all kind of like got sort of like if you can imagine it, there's a central space that sometimes is a garden, ornamental stone garden. Sometimes it is used for ikebana and sort of flower arranging. It just depends on the time of year, depending on what they're using it for. But over the winter court, it's kind of cleared. The snow is taken away, and there's usually sort of like space for you to sort of like either do exercise or to just hang out. You know, maybe around that is the veranda, which leads to the rooms further in. So a lot of the Rokugani buildings are made of wood and rice paper walls. The external walls have kind of sort of like this folding wooden sort of shutter system that kind of can open and close. Even in the middle of winter, they have it open to the elements because it's bracing, and it kind of like keeps you in check with, well, two of the rings, you know, water and air. So that kind of helps you sort of like be stable and helps keep your chi flowing. So that there's no reason why you wouldn't all be here to sort of like do that. There's a group of Unicorn Clan samurai. There's some Lion Clan samurai. There's one Mantis Clan samurai, I suppose. One Phoenix Clan samurai, and a couple of the Kakita samurai as well. All sort of getting together to sort of like play this game. In which case, you're all sort of sailing around. You're all kind of getting an idea of how to do it. There is probably a couple of people who've done this quite a few times, maybe some of the Unicorn, and they sort of show you all sort of how the game works if you don't quite understand or know how that is. So you all kind of get involved. I mean, I don't know, Charlotte, would Agasha Yame get involved directly or just sit and watch?
Would have watched it first and then asked to join.
Okay. What about Kitsune Akira? Marco?
I could have probably... Oh, sorry.
By all means, Tony, go ahead.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, okay, so in my case, in the case of Kakita Hironobu, I would have jumped directly to play, and perhaps I would have even tried to be in the same team as Utaku Hiroshi, just to learn. And, you know, I don't know how they position themselves, but I probably could position behind him or in a place where I can see his movements and, you know, learn by doing and mimicking what he does, and I will try to be as a flow in the field.
Okay, I like that. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let's treat you all to a dice roll. We can figure out how the rule system works and see how badly everyone rolls.
Well, so Kitsune, I never got a chance to tell you.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. So Kitsune Akira, if there's somewhere nearby the court, like, I don't know if there's a balcony or something nearby, or like maybe a bench somewhere.
Yeah, there's like a small tatami mat, sort of like raised.
Yeah, are we out? We're not outside in the cold.
Yeah, they're outside.
Oh, they're
Absolutely
outside.
outside.
Okay,
Yeah.
so all right, so then he'll be meditating, or you know, maybe being distracted by the game, but he went out there to meditate, and then he's probably. Okay. Yeah, exactly. He was there alone, which is his preference, meditating, and then this game happens, which disturbs him. So his feathers have been ruffled a bit.
Okay. Destroys the meditation. Okay, well, tell you what we'll do. Those people who wish to play the game can make the first rolls of the episode. To do this, a lot of if you look at your character sheets, you will see that there is a whole bunch of rings, and around the rings there's a whole bunch of traits. So, for example, under the air ring, it has two traits, reflexes and awareness. That's what they're called. They're called traits. The earth, air, fire, water are the rings, and you'll have like a number of each of the rings, and that is the average. Well, it'd be the total of the lowest trait in that selection. So in this case, I'm looking at one of the NPCs. They have a reflexes of 3 and an awareness of 3, which means their air ring is 3. But if I look at their agility and intelligence, one is 2 and one is 3, which means their fire ring is the lowest, so it's going to be 2. To make a roll, you would take your skill. So in this case, the skill that you require is games, and you would use your agility with that. So you would find your skill on your character sheet. I'm just thinking probably none of you have got games, so that
one of us certainly does.
One of us certainly. Okay, excellent. So you take your skill gains and you add it to your leading trait. In this case, I'm using agility. So, for example, we'll use Scott because he has games. So, Scott, what is your agility?
So my agility is 3.
And what is your games?
My games brackets Kamari is 1.
Okay, so you're going to add the 2, so that's going to be 4 dice. And what you do, the way the system works, is you roll that number of dice and you keep as many dice as you have in your trait. So in this case, you're going to roll 4 dice and you're going to keep 3. Now, the way that would work is that you would roll the dice, the d10s, and you take you don't have to take the top 3 highest. They can be any dice, that's up to you. So if you told me you wanted to hit someone but you didn't want to do as much damage, it's up to you to pick whatever dice you want. They don't have to be the top 3. In this case, Togashi Hiroshi is using his game skill. He has made his roll of 4 dice, keeping 3. He has done a fairly decent roll. He has also rolled a 10, which is the highest number you can roll. If you get a 10 and you have a skill in it, you get to re-roll the 10 and add whatever you get next to that 10. So it's an open-ended decided dice. So I believe you got 24, is that correct?
24 in total.
Okay. So the target number that I'm looking for ranges across the board. And the average roll is a 15, which is what I'm asking for here. If the rest of you want to roll it, you can do. Now, if you don't have games, you're at a penalty because you don't know how to play the game. But that's okay, because all you need to do is do the same thing. You don't have the skill, so you don't add your skill. You just use your agility to play the game. So, for example...
Can I point something out as well, Ed?
Sure.
One of the cool little things about this game is that there are lots of subdivisions between the skills. So, for example, if you've got the game skill for Kamari, like Hiroshi does, and we're playing a game of Go, he gets no bonus whatsoever, even though he's got games as a skill, because it's not that specific game.
Bang up. So yes, so what you need to do is, because you don't have the skill for the rest of you, you're not trained in it. So all you would do is you would just roll your trait, and you keep your trait. So, Marco, if we look at your character, what is your agility?
My agility is 2.
Okay, so you roll 2 dice and keep 2 dice. Because you don't have the skill, it's unskilled, which means 10s do not explode. So you just roll those, and that will give you a total. So if you want to roll just your skill, just your trait, sorry, I can see that Tony, Kakita has rolled. You're unskilled. You got a 19, which means you also pass. Kitsune,
This is why he's overconfident. Unskilled, and you got a 20.
that's nice.
He's a lucky bastard.
And Charlotte, would you like to give that a go too?
For sure.
We're using Foundry to play the game, and so on the Foundry character sheets there is a little roll icon that you can use, or if it's a stat or a trait, you can just click on that trait. How did you do? Well, it turns out that all of you, it seems, appear to be quite good at this game. You all know what you're doing. You've all played it before. Definitely far and wide the person out of all of you that is the most experienced, unsurprisingly, is the one who actually knows how to play the game, who's done it in the past. So yes, you all kind of get together and you'll start playing. You manage to do quite good at it. You manage to pass the ball. You probably spend a good couple of hours sort of playing the game and kind of doing that. So it does definitely mean that out of the groups, the Lion and the Unicorn Clan Samurai are probably the most boisterous out of them, and they take it very seriously. There is almost a bit of roughhousing, and they probably have to be kept in check a little bit to maintain the right social etiquette when doing it. But you can see that they kind of lose it just a little bit. I'm guessing Charlotte, Agasha, Ayami, and Kakita Hironobu do not lose their stuff, for they kind of keep to a very traditional way of doing things and aren't necessarily losing their, what's the word?
We need to show the proper forms and how to behave.
Yeah.
With grace.
Yeah. And Kitsune Akira, you can definitely you know the game, you understand how it works, and you can definitely see that out of all of them, the Togashi Hiroshi is clearly the one who knows what they're doing the most.
At the end of the game, Hiroshi makes sure he goes over to each of his opponents, bows very graciously, compliments them on a wonderful game, thanks them for their time, and offers to play again the next time there's free time.
They are all indeed very grateful for that. So the people that you played with are sort of like very happy. They kind of they sort of agree to sort of playing another time, maybe sort of like in a couple of days' time. They all have to go and do all their various things, and as they kind of go their separate way, you kind of by default are sort of like left, either tidying up, cleaning up, putting on sort of like kimonos and stuff to ward off the cold. Is there any kind of interactions you would like to do, or are you just happy to sort of?
No, we'll actually approach Togashi Hiroshi after the game, and I will properly acknowledge and say thank you very much for this pleasant game. It was very interesting and something I've never seen in Rokugan before.
No, please, the honor is all mine. Thank you for giving it such a spirited try.
It was my pleasure and very enjoyable. Something I wanted to ask you too. You are also one of the first unicorns I've ever met. I spent most of my life training in the great dojo of the Kakita, but I heard good things about unicorn and your tactics, a little bit unusual perhaps. I would love if you could explain me more about how you fight.
There's certainly some unique elements to the way we operate. Have you heard of our mounted infantry?
Yes. I don't know if you know, but we crane sometimes battle with mantis.
I've heard many tales of your clashes over the years. The unicorn fights slightly differently in that we, as you know, are a cavalry force more than anything. Though the menfolk of our clan tend to support our battle maidens in combat by riding onto the field of battle, dismounting, and then spending our time effectively fixing enemy infantry in place, whilst the battle maidens themselves lead the cavalry charges, break infantry formations. It's a very quick, very fast way of warfare, but I'd be more than happy to show you the basics at some point.
Yes, I would love to see, I've never seen these horses either.
My horse is in the stable. You're more than welcome to come and visit.
I don't know if this is a good moment. Perhaps good than mine.
Absolutely not. The stables are on the way to the bathhouse, so I'd be more than happy to show you.
Please show me the way.
So while Togashi Hiroshi and Kakita Hironobu have a conversation about different tactics and horses, Kitsune Akira is sitting there attempting to meditate when you notice an individual making their way across to the Phoenix Shugenja. The individual is dressed in the robes of the Scorpion clan, red and black, and has a cloth mask from his eyebrows down. And underneath that cloth mask, you can see a horn sort of oni, like a demon mask underneath. It's well known that the Scorpion all wear masks. It's part of their clan tradition. You also all know that a Scorpion is very much a political beast, and they do things for the Empire and the clans that are probably best not spoken in polite society. This gentleman makes his way very carefully across the padded tatami mats of the veranda and makes his way across to the Phoenix clan, Shugenja, Agasha Ayami. As he kind of gets a bit closer, he says, "My lady, Agasha, my name is Bayushi Takana. May I sit?"
Yes, you may.
Thank you, my lady.
Actually, 1 second. I do have a quick question on
Sure.
like history and stuff. What are the proper ways of addressing people that you may not know, like lord, lady, that's master?
Yes. Yeah, so if you've come across another samurai who you've never met before, usually it's good to address them by their clan because they will normally have a mon or a clan colour. So you would normally see, so in this case, this gentleman is wearing a Scorpion. So you could call him Scorpion-san, or to say that you're just acknowledging that he's from the Scorpion clan. He has actually come along and told you his name. He's saying that he's Bayushi from the Bayushi family, and his actual given name is Takana. So the proper address for someone you've never met, you don't know, what status he is, you don't know where he is in the pecking order, would just be to call him Bayushi Takana son, which is actually saying that you're of the equal level. If you think actually you just want to honor him a little bit more, you could add the honorific Sama to say that he is of a higher status than you. He looks old, so it could be that he's been around for a while, so it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to sort of like call him Sama, so you probably go Bayushi Takana Sama. Or if you just wanted to be quite formal but not actually that personal, you would just call him Bayushi-san or Bayushi-sama, and that's not particularly rude.
Gotcha. And what was his full name again? It's not showing up on...
His name is Bayushi Takana, and he sits down and he says, My Lady Agasha, I understand you are here to look through the library that is here.
I am. I was quite excited when I first got a glimpse of it.
Are you finding it difficult being a phoenix in the Dragon Court when your two clans are at war?
I would be lying if I said it was not awkward at certain periods.
It shows a certain mettle, my lady, that you've come to do that at this time. And I'm very grateful to see a phoenix here. Unfortunately, sometimes the other clans, well, they can be a little slow when it comes to understanding things, and I'm very grateful that you are here.
Why, thank you. I tend to think that the best time to learn is when the fires are high.
He says, I assume that he basically looks you up and down and says that you are attuned to the fire element.
That is correct.
So he says, in that case, hopefully you're not too hot-tempered, he says.
I would not go that far.
A slight joke. So I hope I don't offend you.
Not at all.
You can see as he's sort of like, do you have any courtier or sort of like etiquette skills?
Do I have etiquette? I think I do. I do.
Okay. You don't have to make a roll or anything, but you know he's basically angling for something. He's kind of like just starting to kind of ingratiate himself. And he's just kind of like he then starts to make small talk about the Phoenix clan. He's definitely showing that he understands what's going on in the Phoenix clan. He does understand. In fact, he might understand a little bit more than you would expect him to. And so he's almost showing you that he understands some stuff that's going on in the background. But without doing it, he clearly is a master manipulator and a master courtier. But he kind of keeps everything very low key. He doesn't he's not sort of going out of his way to do that. And while he is talking to you, he is looking at a scroll, and he's being sort of half and half with like his conversation with you and actually doing something else. To anybody else looking, it just looks like he's just having a conversation with someone he knows while doing something else. Marco, you clearly can see this interaction going on, and you're very much drawn to him, and you're not really sure what it is, but there's something about him you just don't like. Just his mannerisms, the way he walks. He's definitely sort of on your radar. There's something not quite right about him. You've kind of dealt with a lot of people before. Something a bit off, just in the background. But they seem to be having a conversation.
I'll watch him, the two of them, just to see if I get a sense that he might be up to something dishonorable.
Okay. Yeah, he appears to just be having a conversation.
If I can eavesdrop, then I will.
I mean, he's not being particularly loud. He's being respectfully quiet for a personal conversation without it actually spilling out into the courtyard. You catch like the odd snippet, but nothing that can tell you exactly what they're being discussed. He also appears to be watching the Kakita and the otaku just having their conversation. And just as they're sort of like finishing up, sort of like tidying up and getting all their kit together, he stands up and then he clears his throat and waits for you to look at him.
Who is this now?
This is the same guy, the Scorpion.
Okay. Well, yeah, he has my attention.
Hiroshi glances his way and then carries on cleaning things up and packing away the last bits of the game, putting the ball back in its case, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. He says, my My fellow samurai, I have come to collect you. The lord of the castle wishes to have your audience. Kitsuki Mizuochi requires your attendance in his royal throne room. Please, follow me.
Is this common for a scorpion to summon somebody for a dragon?
No. I mean, it could be that he was asked to do it, but...
Stand up and make to follow him with a quizzing look on my brow.
He takes a few steps as if to sort of like start to go towards, I guess, the natural exit to the courtyard, but stops and turns to watch to see whether you're coming or not.
Kitsune will get up and approach Scorpion-san. It's highly unusual that you would be the king's... Is it the king you said?
No, it's the daimyo of the Kitsuki family. It's the lord. The lord of this castle.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. It is unusual, is it not, that you would be the lord's messenger?
He sort of like bows and says, Akira-san, I just do as I am told. I am the vessel for the clans and the emperor. And if I am told to do something, it is my place to do that. And he kind of bows to you.
I'll bow back. Please, lead the way.
He looks back towards the unicorn and the crane.
Yeah, I bow and I follow.
Hiroshi looks around to see if any of the other unicorns are still there, realizes he's on his own, and bows and follows behind everyone else.
Once he knows that you're all in tow, basically makes his way further into the keep. He basically walks at a slow enough speed that you can catch up, but he doesn't stop. He just continues. He walks past the visitors' quarters. He goes past a lot of the half people and no people's quarters. He makes his way further into and up the pagoda style castle of the Kitsune. Kiki. I'll get it right in one day. Jeez, come on then. In the Kitsuki, that's it. And he takes you, as you sort of like go further and further up, into sort of like the personal quarters of the daimyo. As you travel through, you realize that there are more Dragon Clan samurai here than you've seen before. They're all armed with their twin swords. Some of them are wearing the light Ashigaru armor that you would expect. And he makes his way to an audience chamber and says, please, follow me.
Still very confused, Hiroshi will follow at a distance.
Bayoshi Takana goes to the sliding door and opens it, and a dragon samurai in full heavy armor with all the kit and everything you could possibly ever want is standing directly behind the doors. It is a large reception room with multiple mats and tatami mats, and on top of those a soft covering of green downy material. You can see that the room's been divided into that of the lord to the north of the chamber, and those to the vassals to the south of the chamber. His tatami mat is like a light green with the Kitsuki emblems on, and then you have sort of more plain, but stylish tatami mats and seats. Bayoshi Takana walks in, and you can see at the head, next to a large sort of low table, you can see the daimyo of the Kitsuki. He is sitting there with his elbow at the side of the table. You would expect the daimyo to be on the other side, but he is actually off to the side, and he is kneeling here waiting. Inside, as you look in, you can see a young female dragon clan, Charlotte. When you look at her, you can see that she is wearing the robes of a Shugenja, but in sort of like the classic green and gold of the Dragon Clan. There is a seat in the middle, and next to her is your elemental master, Isawa Hoshi. And then below them, there are 3 spare seats. To the right-hand side, Tony, you can see Kikita Kaiten, the regent for the Crane Clan. There is a space, and then you can see Shinjo Daisan, the unicorn diplomat. And then right at the very back of this ensemble, you can see a female samurai. Parker, and Tony, actually, both of you, can both of you please make an intelligence roll? But the difficulty is 10.
13.
I rolled a 4.
Okay, Tony, you recognize the female samurai as being of the Sparrow clan, a minor clan that was at one point part of the alliance that the Fox and the various other were at, but did not join the Mantis clan.
Well, that's why I don't recognize her. It's just a minor, inconsequential clan, not because I'm stupid or anything.
Of course not. Bayushi Takana makes his way across to the right-hand side and sits at the front of the cushions. He bows to the Lord and says, "My Lord, I have them." He sits down, leaving you to sort of like stand in the entranceway. Who wants to walk in first?
I will.
Absolutely not.
Oh,
I beat you dirty crane.
Okay. Kitsune Akira, you walk forward.
Super
And-
overconfident, you know.
Yep. Make an etiquette roll for it. So it is your etiquette skill. Leave etiquette is with awareness. So if you make that roll, I'm not going to give you a target number. I'm just going to ask you to make the roll. I just want to see how well you do.
I have a 21.
Well, look at you. You know well enough to sort of like step in, sort of maybe to halfway up the aisle to bow and to address the Lord correctly, which you can do either by saying, my Lord Domo, to say that he is a daimyo, or you can address him, you know that he is the Kitsuki daimyo, so you could use the honorific Kitsuki Sama or Kitsuki Dono. You also know that you need to find yourself a seat. He will not respond. He's just sitting there. Where would you like to go?
I will use the honorific, and then I will... Where will I go?
It's important.
Yeah.
Where do you want to sit?
It's important, eh?
If you sit beside my master, there will be problems.
Who's your master?
The guy in orange. Yeah, on the map.
This one? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'll sit over here.
So behind the dragon and behind the phoenix.
Yeah, and it gives me a good line of sight to the dude, the scorpion.
Cool.
Don't trust him.
Well, you were very quick to jump on that, Tony. So I guess Kikita is going to come in next. Could you two also roll me an etiquette roll?
12.
Okay, that's fine. You come in again, same thing. You know, you've practiced this so many times in the Kikita Academy. You know exactly what to say and what to do. How do you wish to address them?
I will do the Kitsuki Domo, and
Sure.
I will deeply bow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm nothing compared to him, so I will basically, show my uttermost respect.
Excellent. And you sort of head, I can see on the map, you've head yourself onto the right-hand side behind the Kikita, the Shinjo, and the Scorpion.
Yes.
Okay, so that leaves two more of you. I guess, is it going to be Agasha Ayame or Otaku Hiroshi?
Hiroshi's more than happy to let the lady go first.
She will oblige.
Okay. Could you two please also make an etiquette roll? 13? That's
13.
That's good, yep. You two also know exactly what to do and what to say. How do you wish to address the Kitsuki Daimyo?
With the most respect as possible.
Okay, cool. You bow. Where do you want to sit?
Right in the front row beside my master.
Okay, front row it is.
As I walk past him, I will also give him acknowledgement.
When you've kind of like bowed and said all the things you need to say, you go and sit and you kind of like nod at him. He basically lowers his head and nods at you. He doesn't say anything. He just nods his head. And you sit towards the front. Last but not least, bringing up the rear is our Gaijin friend, Otaku Hiroshi. How was your etiquette, sir?
It's a non-existent.
No, that's what I like to see.
When you spend 8 centuries outside the Empire, you kind of forget the customs.
Could you please make an awareness roll?
Absolutely not. Well, actually, that's not terrible.
No, that's
14.
perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, you come in, you kind of like remember what you're supposed to do. How do you wish to address him?
I will probably address him with as much respect as possible, but I will get the title ever so slightly wrong. I'll call him Daisho rather than Daimyo, for example.
Okay, no, I like
So
that.
it's slightly different, more military rank than a.
Sure, I like that.
The civilian one.
And where are you going to sit? Okay, back there. You go and sit back behind the Kakita. I can see this one side's more than the other side. Yes, you go and sit down, and you wait. You wait for a very long time, where it feels like forever. No one says anything. Everyone is just sitting there. And then the side panel door opens, and in walks Togashi Satsu, who is the daimyo and clan champion of the Dragon Clan. So basically, the next one up from him is the Emperor and the Emperor's family. He is also the son of half a dragon. He is very, very well respected. He's probably in his 40s now. He is tattooed up. He has got tattoos on his head, his face, his chest. And he looks more like a monk than he does actually an honest-to-goodness samurai. But you know him because he is one of the main Crab Clan leaders. And he walks across the room. As he walks across the room, he just oozes something. There's just something raw power about him. As he walks, you can see all the muscles in his neck are really knotted, and just he has like a raw power about him. He walks towards the table. You now understand why the family daimyo is sitting at the side, and Togashi sits down. He sort of like offers you a slight nod and says, "Thank you for coming. We have a problem, and I need you to solve that problem." And he looks at you, and his eyes kind of burn in towards you and says, "Under normal circumstances, I would have my best people on this. Unfortunately, they're all busy." He sort of like smiles and smirks. Is that a joke from the Dragon Clan, champion? It seems weird. He seems like he has a little slight cheeky grin to him. He says, "I need help. I desperately need help. And you are the ones who can do that."